Don't get it. Don't get it.
Well, you may have heard of bands like U2 or the Cranberries that have that famous song, The Zombie, or the other ones, many others like The Script, Van Morrison. But it is seldom that out here in India you get to hear an authentic or traditional Irish band, which is what we're going to do today. Presenting to you from Ireland, the Kilkennys. All right. Thank you for that introduction. I don't know how many of us out here are actually very, very familiar with Irish music. I personally am not. And the first thing that I'd like to ask all of you, and it's got to be that we probably confuse Irish music with Scottish music, and we don't really know the difference. Tell us about that a little bit, Davey.
So we would be a traditional Irish folk act, so which would include traditional music like what you've just heard, which would be instrumental, mixed with songs and stories of our history and our past and our culture. So Scotland is very close to Ireland. It's one of the closest countries to us by sea. So there would be a lot of similar traditions in Scotland. They would have their folk traditions also, but the stories might differ from country to country. But generally, there wouldn't be a lot of difference between the Irish and the Scottish folk traditions. There's a rich heritage of Irish song, and Tommy said it once best. He said any nation that has been oppressed by another country for years.
Well, hello, hi.
India has a similar past as Ireland, so we have a lot in common with India. So any country that is subject to oppression, you tend to get nationalist songs and songs of uprising and a love of one's country, and that comes out in the song, in the stories, poetry and literature, and that's why Ireland is so rich in those areas.
It's a song written by an Irish songwriter from Ireland. County Cork he's from originally, moved to Kilkenny, and he wrote this beautiful song called Nadine. As I leave behind Nadine, it's like purple splashed on green. My soul strangely fed through those winding hills ahead. She plays a melody on wind and streams for me. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? And we rise and climb and fall like the greatest waltz of all. Float across the floor, her sweet scent outside the door. It's time I must be gone across the silver tear. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? As I leave behind Nadine and the hall where we had been, rhododendrons in her hair, in the sweet scented air. It's time I must be gone across the silver sea. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? As I leave behind me.
I'm a percussionist, like I play loads of different types, but this one, so it's played on your knee, obviously, as you can see, and it's like it's beaten with a stick, and as opposed to most other drums being flat, like, you know, this one is upright. It's here, like and it's played with a stick as well. But and it's made. This is made from goat skin, and but you can make them from kangaroo, all sorts of different animals. Like,
How many goats died to make that one?
one very unlucky goat. But yeah, it's actually quite a popular instrument in Ireland, but it's one of the coolest as well. That's what I'm gonna say.
1, 2. I've been a wild rover for many's a year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. And now I'm returning with gold in great store, and I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, they never. Come on. No, they never, no more. And I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I went into a nail house I used to frequent, and I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me hey. Such a customer like yours I could have any day. And it's no, they never, oh, they it's no way never. Only never no more. When I play the wild rover, no never no more. I'll go home to my parents, confess what I done, and I'll ask them to pardon the pride of son. When they forgive me like oft times before, I never will blame a mile more now more, and it's no way never. Only never no more. When I play the wild rover, don't never no more. And this time, and it's no way never. Only never no more. When I play the wild rover, don't never no more. Hey, that's the wild rover.
Donkey. Donkey.
band started back a long time ago. Myself and Tommy were in St. Kieran's College in Kilkenny, and my brother Adam, and we started a group. We played some music at weekends in the pubs, the local pubs, some sessions like what you've seen here now, for some pocket money. And then after a while we said, why not be professional? Mm-hmm. Why not have a musical career like U2 or the Cranberries or Van Morrison?
Absolutely.
So if you have a #1 hit in Ireland, that's one thing, but if we have a #1 hit in India, That's a lot of people buying the single, so we'll try and work on that. So we've been working for years, over 15 years now, growing the band and growing the name. We picked up Mick and Robbie along the way, and we were called the Kilkennys. And me and Tommy are actually
You
from.
were called the Kilkennys, or
At the start, we were called an Irish name. It was called Ishka Baha,
okay?
which is the Irish word for whiskey.
You know what ishq means in India?
What's that?
Love.
Love. Well, there you go. What, the love of whiskey. So then we started traveling outside of Ireland, and Ishka Baha was kind of complicated. People didn't understand. So we said we call the name of the group the Kilkennys because that's where we were from. Even though Mick is from Wexford, Robbie is from County Laois. Myself and Tommy said as long as there's 50% of the group from Kilkenny, we could call ourselves the Kilkennys.
All right, interesting, because as I understand, Homeland is the name of your latest track, and or the video that you just made. Tell us how that is so symbolic of the patriotism that you reflect with just the instruments that you use and the kind of music that you're trying to portray everywhere else, wherever you go.
Yeah, Homeland is a song. When you hear this, when Davey performs this, when we perform the song at the shows, Davey introduces the song as everybody has a homeland. Everybody in the world belongs to some place, whether it be India or Ireland or South America or wherever. Everybody has a birthplace and some place they like to call home. So when people, it's an Irish song, but when people across the world hear this song, they can relate to the song. And I think that's why it strikes a chord very well with people around the world, not just in Ireland.
This is my homeland, my heart is here. These are the voices I long to hear. No matter how far I may roam, I have a homeland, I have a home. I have a homeland, I have a home. When the sun goes down in the evening light, moves like a ghost through starry night. When Sirius trickles to hypnotize, it's good to sit, be alive. This is my homeland, my heart is here. These are the voices I long to hear. No matter how far I may roam, I have a homeland, I have a home. I love her story and the teller's gift. I love her lonely piper's tale. No greater fears do I even see. These simple things, they comfort me. This is my homeland, my heart is here. These are the voices I long to hear. No matter how far I may roam, I have a homeland, I have a home. Let's go back. If for some reason I had to quit this river bend where I stand, I think I'd weep for an old refrain. I'm never down the pouring rain. This is my homeland, my heart is here. These are the voices I long to hear. No matter how far I may roam, I have a homeland, I have a home. This is my homeland, my heart is here. These are the voices Anybody here from Dublin? Who let the dubs out? Yeah, it was a great song recorded by the Dubliners. It's called The Rocky Road to Dublin, and it's especially for the Dublin team who won the All-Ireland. In the merry month of June, the home I started, left the girl to tune, and nearly broken-hearted saluted father dear. Kissed me darling mother, drank a pint of beer. Grief and tears as father then up to reap the corn. Leave where I was born, got a south blackthorn I banished. Ghosts and goblins of you bear of broads, rattling all the bugs, frightening all the dogs. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hop the hay returner down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macfalaldira. In Mullingar that night I rested a limb so weary, started by daylight, me spirits bright and airy. Took a drop of the pure, keep me heart and sinking, that's the paddy's cure. Never reason for drinking to see the lads he smile, laughing all the while, curious style. Let your heart a bubble and asked if I was tired, wages I required, I was really tired. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hop the hay returner down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macfalaldira. In Dublin, mixed array, they call it such a pity to be so soon depraved. The view of that great city, and then they told us so. All the monk, the quality, bundle and smoke. In the new locality, something crossing line. And I left behind the bundle they find. One we still go on and inquire for the road. Let me go the road, crossing the lodge and road. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hop the hill and turn you down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macfalaldira. From here I got away, these spirits never fading, landed on the cape. The ship was sailing, the captain had me hard. Let the door of Paddy when they told the road. Captain come for Paddy and down on the beach. Made the bonny reef, dancing murky cheeks, the haunter round me, babbling up the dolly head. Wished myself were dead, and that bar instead. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hop the hill and turn her down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macfalaldira. The boys at Liverpool.
Come on, everybody, see those hands.
I called myself a fool. I could no longer stand it, but began to boil. Temper I was losing, poor old Aaron's Isle. They began abusing her rabbit sons to say I shall hit the alibi. Called my miser nigh, sorry I was a hobbling with the loud hooray. Joined in the affray, quickly cleared the way. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up the hill and turning down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macfalaldira. Up the hill and turning down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macfalaldira. Macfalaldira. faster. Let's see those hands now.
tell us a little bit about the fact that you've been writing and you've been singing, and all of you more or less do everything. I mean, I was just looking at the list of instruments that all of you play. I don't know of many bands that play 4 different types of instruments, including the vocals, and all of you probably sing, I think. So how does that pan out? I mean, there's something known as expertise in one instrument. Do you all have it in all these instruments, or are you jack of all trades then?
A jack of all trades, but an expert at none. No, basically, we all kind of, I think when Tommy, the two boys started off, the two of them were kind of playing 2 guitars, and Tommy went on to bass, and Davey picked up the mandolin, and that was 20 years ago, and he's still trying to learn it now, but he's getting there. And I started off with banjo, and
you're there, right?
what?
You're not getting there. You're already there.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm on the other side.
You can't learn anymore.
So then we got young Mick here, and he came with an array of instruments, with bodhrán, the uilleann pipes.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about the Scottish music. They have the bagpipes. You know, and
How come you don't have the Celtic harp? It's just like the symbol of your country.
It's too hard to bring on an aeroplane.
But would you be able to play it in Ireland, for example?
I give it a go.
You give it a go.
Yeah, as long as this is not shown in Ireland.
Let's hear it from the others. Does he really give it a go?
No. But most stringed instruments we'll all make a go at it, you know, and it's the variation in our set is that we don't want to be just playing the same 4 instruments, you know, for an hour and just kept going, because it sounds very, you know, the very same. So what we do is we like to swap around and make it a different sound and kind of, you know.
But somehow you manage to maintain the authenticity of Irish music, at least as a sub-theme to the music that you're playing. Every song that you're playing has to have an Irish touch.
Oh yeah, well, most of it, yeah, we have to keep it very Irish. That's what we, you know, that's what we bring. That's what we want to show off to people.
Took a stroll on the old long walk of the day. Met a little girl, let me start off the tongue with a fine soft day. And I ask you, Fred, what the fuck would it do if her hair was black and her eyes were blue? And I do right your hand, and I gave it a twirl, and I lost my heart to a Galway girl. And I asked you, friend, tell me what would you do if our hair was black and her eyes were blue? Oh, yeah. This is side verse, everybody. Now when I woke up, I was all alone. I had a broken heart and I took it home. I asked you, friend, what the darling to do if my hair was black and her eyes were blue. I've been traveling round and all over the world. Hey, oh yes, I could never see nothing like a Galway girl. Oh yeah, the Galway girl, #1 hits coming at you.
Just tell us a little bit about the fact that while you have, in a sense, I don't know if this is Irish, as you said, you've adopted other instruments. But in India, there are so many different types of instruments. India has such a rich, musical tradition, classical music, Bollywood, for example. What is it that you have, while you've been here, been listening to, if at all, and that you want to kind of somehow bring into the music that you play?
I met a guy last week, and I've been listening to him since I was really young, and he actually incorporated a small bit of Indian music into Irish music, just tabla drumming.
Tabla drumming, yeah.
And I said to him that I was obviously coming to India on the weekend, and he said, make sure and meet some of the musicians over there because they're just outstanding. And I've been listening to little bits and pieces of Indian music, but I'd love to bring it in kind of side by side with each other, playing together, because it's great music. Like the instruments, they work so well. I can hear it.
Have you had a chance to actually listen to a concert, Indian classical or something? Not at all yet.
No,
huh?
not yet.
Yeah, but you've just been performing. We
Yeah.
want to listen to you. That's fine. All right. Also, because you play the pipes, I've seen you. How is the ornamentation different? Because as I understand, that is what is really the difference between Scottish pipes and Irish pipes. Yeah.
So basically, Inland pipes have a choice. They can be closed or open. So tight playing or loose playing. Bagpipers have no choice. All the air is coming out. You can't close it. There's going to be air coming out all the time. So it's kind of, there's more to do on the pipes. You have staccato playing, which is tight playing, and legato playing, which is flowy kind of. There's way more notes. You have the drones and the regs, which come down here. They're different notes. The drones are a drone, as in the name. Like, so it's actually quite complicated compared to the bagpipes.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure talking to you and also getting a feel of the instruments that you have. And I look forward to actually listening to more of this. But just the fact that you came to India, a huge welcome from us. And I hope that whatever little time you have here, we learn more from you and we could give whatever little learnings we can to you and just enjoy the music, because that's what it all is all about.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't get